Good morning, and we're going to go over these little roses. So we started with a toothpick, and we started with just a bunch of little heart punches in whatever color you prefer. These were made with double-sided paper, and these with a single color and core. These are made with cardstock with a white core. So you can see the white on those as you roll them over. These are actually, I went ahead and started on double sides, so I can cut this toothpick right in the middle if I wanted to make a topiary. And just take these little roses and stick them into a foam ball if that's what I choose to do. Now that would be absolutely beautiful. I have one that I made out of coffee filter roses that I posted on my Instagram. Hey buddy. So I used a heart punch, and I'm going to say about 3/4 of an inch is what that is. I'm going to use my quilling tool. I'm going to use a pair of the backwards tweezers, and of course multiple hearts depending on how large you want your rose to be. And here's some of the examples. So I'm going to set that there as I work on these and show you. So the first thing I want to do is I want to create a nice tight center. And in order to do that, I need to have this cardstock, the fibers in this paper cardstock. It's a lightweight cardstock. O'Malley's trying to climb up on my chest. Sorry about that. O'Malley just insisted on sitting on my chest, and I can't show and video with fluffy kitty on my chest. So, in and roll. Nice and tight, pull it off. In and roll. Nice and tight, pull it off. I'm going to move this back just a little bit so I know right where, this tells me right where my hand needs to be for y'all. So I'm going on the paper, both sides, making sure I'm in probably about an eighth of an inch, and then I'm going to roll it over, just like that. And if you remember, I showed you how to do it if you didn't have a quilling tool. Just use your toothpick and put it on there and just bend your paper right around that toothpick, going in from both sides, just forcing that paper to roll right over. And then there you have it. If you look at both of them, you really can't tell the difference on which one you've done with the quilling tool and which one you have done with the toothpick. So it really doesn't matter. Now, all I'm doing is breaking the fibers down, but I'm also creating some of the bends that need to be in the rose petals. So there's that one, and that's a green. Okay, those are all the ones that I have of this particular color. So I'm going to now have my glue ready, my toothpick ready, and my tweezers. So I'm going to open up the center, take my needle out of my art glitter glue. Put it all across where it needs to grab onto that toothpick, and bring it in, and I'm going to tuck and roll it. So it grabs, and it's going to be rolled all the way around. And I want it just to be grabbed for just a few moments. You can see the top of that. Now each heart is one set of petals. So after the center bud on my set of petals, I want it to kind of roll inside so that it comes up and it goes and grabs around that petal like you would see a rose before it opens, because it'll open like this. We can do it with a toothpick easy, and just roll it over the top. Roll it over the top. When we curled this heart, we broke those fibers down enough that it's not going to take much to manipulate the shape of this heart now. I put my art glitter glue, and it needs to go along probably about halfway on these particular ones, and that's because it has to wrap around the whole bud at this point. So I'm going to let go of that. Here's the center of my bud, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to sit it right in the center, and this is going to come up. I'm going to squeeze those petals just a little bit. And bring it up, tuck it in, and wrap it around. And now you want to use your tweezers and grab it. Now if you don't have reverse tweezers like this, you can just hold it with your hand. It's really not a big deal. I try to kind of manipulate and go around with the tweezers, squeezing where I put that glue down so it penetrates that paper, that cardstock. So we'll set that down. These are going to open even more. So I want to get 2 of these ready to go. And I'm going to use that toothpick again. Take the toothpick, set it on the back side of the heart, and just pull it on over. So I'm just kind of shaping it around the empty toothpick right now. I'll set that one down. I'm going to do the same thing with the other petal that we're getting ready. And remember, these are going to be 2 petals because we have 2 on the tip of that heart. And bring it around. I'm going to stick it in the center, and I'm going to bring it kind of up and around and shape it just like that. And so I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on the center where that is, and the same here. We have the petals that we have just shaped with the glue. We come up, and where those 2 ends of the heart met on that side, we have a little lower side here. So on that lower side, which is right here where this heart has your little divot, I'm going to actually put the tip of the rounded corner right there, because that's, we want to start building our flower up at this time. And I'm just going to roll it around and give it just a moment to kind of catch there. It doesn't take long with this art glitter glue. And then I'm going to take my other petal, and when petals open, they usually open where they're attached to one another, kind of like this. One is behind the other, behind the other, behind the other, but the other side they're on top. And so that's what I want to do with this one. So I'm going to stick this petal right here behind that petal I just wrapped, and bring it around and have the other petal wrap on top of the first one I laid down on these open ones. So under, over, and squeeze. And let's go ahead and get our tweezers on here. Grab a hold of that so it does have a nice squeeze, and then check your placement. You can see that they wrap over, and then this one's under, and it comes and goes over that other petal. And it comes, this one comes over, twist it, and give it a squeeze on that side. And let's get our next set of petals ready. So here we're going to go ahead and get 3 ready. And then the last one we're going to cut in half. So we're going to have the rest of our petals all ready here. So I have 3 hearts left. I'm going to take, well, I have 4 hearts left, and I'm going to take the 4th one and just cut it right down the center. So there's 2 petals. These I'm going to actually fold in half, just a little bit there, and I'm going to take off just a hair so that when I open this back up, it goes down quite a bit more. You see the difference? It goes down. So I'm going to do it again on these other 2. So I'm going to fold it. Very small, and then I'm going to come in and trim that off. I'm going to open it up, and there you have it. And one more time. Now this does not have to be perfect. Petals are not perfect on a flower. Come in and snip that off. And open it, open it up. Oh goodness. So now each of these petals have a little bit more leadway for me to actually curl out. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab the end, the very end tip of my heart, and I'm going to use my toothpick once again, roll it right on over, and set it down. Lift it up, roll it over, sit it down. Lift it up, roll it over, and the 2 single ones, I'm just going to grab that tip. I'm going to roll it, grab that tip, and roll. On these petals, I want a nice little area that I can actually put my glue in. Just like that. Just give it a little cup. I'm going to put a dab of glue on each of the petals that have a set of petals that have 2 each. I'm going to take my petal, now that doesn't look like much at this point, but we are going to now stagger across what we have started. So this is over. I'm going to stick this one under to the point, well, see how that comes down? I'm going to cover that up. It's going to cover up. Push it down, push it around. I'll do the same thing with my next one. I want that opening right there, right where these two meet, covered up with a petal. But that also means going under this particular petal that we just put down, so put it under. Find that little piece there, push it in, the other petal over the top of it, and roll that one around. Now it's just going to be under there just barely, and that's okay. And then we have one more. We want to bring it up, stick that petal right under, press on your bottom, and bring it around. Now I want to grab this with the tweezers so I can take a look at where each of these are actually laying. Because now I'm going to come in with my 2 little guys and place them. So let's give them a minute. Let's give these a minute to dry. Just a second. I mean, a few seconds. It doesn't take long. Once I get some glue on the end of these, those will probably be ready for me to attach these last 2 petals. Some art glitter glue on that one, and some art glitter glue on that one. Let's open this up. Let's see where we're at. I'm just going to give it a squeeze. Let's kind of go all the way around. And we'll check and make sure I was in frame. If not, I'll end up doing it over with a different one. I'm going to pull this up. Right here needs a little bit of something, so I'm going to take that petal, this particular petal, it's going to go under that one right there. I'm going to just pull that up, wrap that around, so the tip of that flower petal is covering that opening. Grab it and squeeze when you have it into place. And let's see. Push it open a little bit. And I think right here is where this one will go. So I want to just sit it right over where those two petals meet and it's open. Grab the tweezers, hold it into shape. So let's take our tweezers off. I'm just squeezing now along the bottom edge of the flower. And now I want to start opening these petals. Now you can use your quilling tool, you can use a toothpick, or you can use your fingers. So let's start with what we have with us, our fingers. All you're going to do is pull that petal back and push it up. I'll show you here. You're going to grab that petal, put your finger underneath it, put your thumb on top, and push it back. Just like that. You're going to have the stick, you're going to have the toothpick. So finger is going to be grab, grab, pull down, so you're pulling it back, and then you've got a little roll of a petal. If you have a toothpick, you're going to set the toothpick on it and just do the same type what you did with your finger, except you're going to get the toothpick underneath it. Let's go ahead and separate it first here. See, I'm pull that out with the toothpick. Pull that out with a toothpick, and my toothpick's going to go now under it and roll it back. So I want these petals separated, toothpick underneath it, and you're just going to very gently, do not pull this, just roll it over the toothpick itself. Okay? If you're using a quilling tool, same concept. You want to get in there and separate the petal first. Make sure it's not glued, attached to the one in front of it. And then you can grab it with your quilling tool and roll it back, pull it out. Slide your quilling tool on it, roll it back, pull it out. Quilling tool, roll it back, pull it out. This is one of the reasons I like using the quilling tool. It does make it a bit easier for me. And pull it out. There's a petal right here, so I want to get into it. Roll it back. And so I want to come in and just kind of separate out what I can. But I want to leave that little bud that we have in the center there as intact as I can. I don't want to mess with it. So I'm going to go ahead and just come in with a toothpick. Just kind of roll it around, giving some definition. And then I'm going to go in between the next layer. Get up under those petals. Give it a little definition. A little more dimension. Right up under there. Okay. And ladies and gents, there you have a tiny rose. Now I'm going to take it and I'm just going to kind of squeeze it around the edges because I want these side petals just to kind of be as close as I can. And roll it around. You can also do this with your tweezers. It's like if you know that it needs to kind of squeeze in this way, squeeze it in that way. Get some definition on that so it actually pushes up those petals, and I really think it needs to go this way. So, and if I need to, I'm going to put a dab of glue in there so that when I do squeeze it up, right here, that glue is going to catch and it's going to hold it into shape along the bud area as I'm going around squeezing that. It's pushing those other petals up and out. There we go. So what do y'all think? It's really not difficult. That's why I'm able to sit at doctor's offices and just bring a baggie of hearts, a thing of glue, and a thing of toothpicks. And my visit to a doctor's office can be, I don't even know, more pleasant for me. Because it does keep my mind on something else instead of sitting there waiting at the doctor's office. So let me know if you give this a try. I would love for you to share it on my Facebook page. It's The Southern Shell on Facebook. And I would love to see your creations. I will add below in the description box my Facebook, my Instagram. You can tag me on Instagram. I would love to see what you've come up with. That's all for today. That's all for this moment anyway. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like this video. If you did like it and you'd like to see more, hit that subscribe button. If you want to know when I do upload more, hit that bell button. And I'd love for you to leave me a comment below, introducing yourself and letting me know what you thought about these little tiny roses, and if you'd like to give them a try. And if you do give them a try, go ahead and tag me on one of my other social medias. Thank you, God bless, and bye for now.